Welcome to the Lila Life Show. I'm your host, Linda Andrews, and you've tuned in to the right place to up-level in your life and business. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Lila Life Show. I'm your host, Linda Andrews, and I have an episode for you today breaking down the Lila Life way. I recently started my book, and you're going to get to hear a lot about this on the podcast and as it unfolds. But I wanted to introduce you to this framework today. You've heard different things if you've been following all the episodes, little pivots, shifts. And thank you for being on this journey with me as I go on my own journey and bring that back to you. I lost a dear friend of mine this week and dear family friend. And so it's been a pretty devastating processing, navigating, maneuvering. And with that comes so many reminders about life and the preciousness of life and this breath and this breath and this breath and this breath. And I think this year is a year for many. This year and last year was a year for many of processing death and birth and just so much. So I honor you always in your own journey, in your own process. And I want to share this framework and this introduction to this framework with you. Just to anchor in the meaning of Lila, in my interpretation of the meaning of Lila, which is a Sanskrit word that I learned in my yoga teacher training years ago. And the meanings, it takes on a few different meanings and forms for me that I want to share. And that was the inspiration to starting Lila Life. So we're at the beginning here. But Lila means divine play. And I take this to mean a few different things. The preciousness of life, that each moment in life, right? The divine play, your life playing out. We could take this in the literal sense of like a play. I used to do a little acting when I was younger and was in plays, and my dear friend and I would do different dances and shows. And, in that sense, to me, the word play, it's like as presenting. And in that as presenting in front of others, what I aim for is to have that cohesiveness all the way through. So how I'm showing up behind closed doors and how I'm presenting, that's the same Linda. And for me, that's another iteration of the meaning of Lila. And last but not least, just truly playing, having some fun. Everything is so serious, and every breath is so serious, and maybe every breath is meaningless and every breath is fun. And with that is the inherent meaning of every single moment. So those are my three definitions of the word Lila. You can, of course, go to any dictionary and find your own exact definition that resonates with you. But I want to start with that as we frame this. So the Lila way, I was playing around with way and method. And in all of this, I aim to be my expert for myself, right? To be in such union and harmony with myself and self-discovery that I know what makes myself tick, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. And the other side is you knowing what makes you tick and what you need and your intuition. And so as I deepen into my practice and my practices and my life and my living and today in this moment, I hope for you to do the same. And so the method versus the way, the Lila way, I landed on way versus method because sub in and out whatever works for you. There's three pieces to this little formula. I like my math, that you can use for you in your own way. So the three pieces are heal, number two, be, number three, create. So healing, right? Looking at the past, how's the past impacting your present? Be, the now, create, the vision, the future. And unpacking each one of these are not mutually exclusive. These can be all done at the same time. You can bring awareness to one and then the next and the next. You can do any order that you want to. But in what I've seen with my clients, what I've lived with myself is that these three pieces, heal, be, and create, need to be present. There usually is something in the past that's impressing on your present that could use some cleaning up, some healing, some forgiving, some accepting, some loving. And then the now, right? There's an abundance of distraction at every turn, corner. And so in the now, how are you being and having this conscious awareness as much as you can, right? Which may not be all the time, to understand how you're being. And then lastly is the creating. And for this piece, this purpose, this drive, this motivation, this inspiration to let whatever's coming through to create that in the world. You know, we all have different gifts, skills, talents. And what does that look like for you? And so when we get kind of out of balance, say hyper focus on the healing, but then there's not much creating going on, right? Just maybe an imbalance and an opportunity to look at, okay, I'm doing this healing work. How can I bring this into my creating now? And I see a lot of times, especially in the coaching space, the wellness space, that it's like, you know, I have just so much work to do. I need to keep healing. And then I'll be ready. Then I'll be ready to be in the world. And I want to make this very clear distinction that you're in the world. You're ready. You're here. And maybe even you're perfect exactly as you are right now. And that can be a very hard piece to swallow, um, because there's so much messaging around what's actually wrong with you and that you're not okay right now. And so there's an opportunity to deconstruct, and that can really be a part of the healing piece as well. So that's this introduction to the Lila Life way. And I hope right now that as you're just even thinking about the healing, the being, the creating, that there's something that stands out to you that you could start with today. That, you know, and we're going to dive into this. Each of the subsequent episodes now will be heal, create, heal, be, create, be, heal, in whichever order, because they are not mutually exclusive or need to be sequential. But I heal, be, create, just what, and then I say be, heal, create. Okay. Anyway, that you can see what's there for you, and especially in the times that we're in right now, whatever is coming up, the triggers, the trauma, maybe even the pieces of despair, it's coming up to be healed. And I want to add to this, is nothing's ever lost. And in both of those things, it's coming up to be healed and nothing is ever lost. Those could mean different things to you than they mean to me. But maybe they mean something to you, and maybe they mean something that's important to you. So, you know, as you're moving through this material, I would say that having a notebook ready, when something really sticks out, whether it's triggering, whether it feels so resonant, just being curious. Maybe it's an opportunity to do some journaling work. I highly recommend that. And giving yourself the space and the commitment to be with yourself every day. You'll notice that I'm never, I want to say never, I mean, I aim for it to be never, but I'm never putting on what works for me to work for you. And, you know, I've tried a lot of different things. I've experimented. Things have worked, things have not worked. I've taken traditional routes. I've taken non-traditional routes. I feel like the non-traditional is the traditional and vice versa. I mean, but this is my journey through the world, and you have yours. And in coaching, there's a term called model of the world, where we all have different models of the world. You've heard me talk about this before. And, you know, when we get curious about what another person's going through, and I would say not only what they're going through, but also like what's working for them, what's not working for them. It's not to say that that's going to work for you or not work for you, right? We're different. We're 8 billion strong. I always round up on that one, but we have a lot of people here that have their own perfect makeup that, you know, being understanding and respectful of someone's model of the world and how that is different and differs from yours, is important. And so whatever I'm sharing is coming from my model of the world, and yours is different. And there could be lots of similarities, there could be lots of contrast, but there's gifts in all of it. So if you give yourself the space to be curious, why is whatever she said so irritating or triggering? Why is that so resonant? And just looking and seeing whatever that is for you, and whatever that is that you needed to hear, move through, learn, etc. I want to touch on something that I feel like I've implied, it's been implicit, but I want to be extremely explicit. Any talk on the podcast that brings up psychedelics, any kind of plant medicine, any experimental in that space, in that more therapeutic space, is coming from my own unique experience. And I'm, let's find the words, because I am advocating for the psychedelic renaissance in the sense that it's a tool out of many that a person could use and find success with in deconstructing belief systems, healing through trauma. And I say a tool because there's many. And these are some tools that have helped me so I can get excited and passionate about it. But I would never say, I may have already said this, but I'm like, can't remember every single episode or moment here, that this is blanket for everyone. And if I ever have, I want to correct that, because each person is in their very unique experience with their very unique past experiences, where their family and their environment's very unique experiences. And safety is really key, right? Things feeling safe. And some of these things could feel triggering or unsafe because of the past experiences that you may have been through or moved through. So I want to make that distinction very clear. I know that in the world of mental health, specifically around psychedelics, I'm sure there's many camps of this is a good thing, this is a bad thing. Whether, I don't even think this is necessarily a loophole, this is what it is. But working with ordained ministers with plant medicine, that's a way to do that, right? And then you have shamans coming from different landscapes that have worked with these medicines for their lifetime. You have people that are what do we call it, like psychonauts, and they're very exploratory with the different psychedelic medicines that are coming through, and really like on the cutting edge of that. And so safety is really important, and this set and setting, right, the environment that you are in and the headspace that you are in, are very critical. And so when I say this may not be for everyone or anyone, because so many of these things vary. And so at the end of the day, any messaging that I'm bringing through here on the show, or any of the work that I'm doing at present, is to help you tune into your intuition, connect deeper, to feel really committed to the supportive practices that you can be in, to be with yourself, to deconstruct, reconstruct, construct, your belief systems in a supportive way that supports you moving through the world. So I want to make that very clear. Street drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, these can be very highly addictive, and really that there's a distinction here. You being on a healing journey and navigating the world of herbs and plant medicine versus the numbing out, the avoidance, the escapism. These are very different things. And at the end of the day, anything could be used for anything. I believe that. And like online shopping could be a good thing, or it can be a really detrimental thing, right? Good, quote unquote. There's lessons in all of this. So at the end of the day, with everything, right? Like cannabis is a big thing that can come up, especially today. Some states it's legal, some states it's not. For the most part, it's decriminalized. Personally, I've found a lot of benefit from using cannabis to help process some major trauma, and it holds space for me to safely go into my inner workings and navigate and let that come through. But I'm not you. And so at the end of the day, doing that for yourself in a way that works for yourself, noticing when avoidance comes through and asking yourself like, whoa, what am I trying to escape? What am I trying to avoid? These are two tendencies that I really see a lot. And ultimately, this is helping you connect to your soul essence, who you are and why you are here, and live in that alignment and learn from whatever is taking you off that course. So circling back, I felt like, some of the episodes, I know that plant medicine, psychedelics have come up, and I just really wanted to make that's more or less my disclaimer. And with any messaging here, it's around my own experience and what's worked for me, what's helped me, and you need to be in your safe exploration journey for yourself. And when I say safe, I don't mean not curious, right? It's about you um, doing it in a way that is just your next step, your next step, your next step for you. So coming back to the Lila Life way, this heal, be, create framework, over the next several episodes, 3 to be specific, we'll do a full episode on heal, we'll do a full episode on be, we'll do a full episode of create, and then the subsequent episodes that are coming from here will have myself and or experts, I would say, and I'll be there, experts breaking down different topics with their specialty areas. So we'll continue that discovery. Last but not least, the Lila Life Collective is being relaunched. So we're going to be adjusting the pricing, we're going to be adjusting the content. And right now, the whole Life Expanded, which is my first signature program, is on there, lives there loud and clear, live and clear. And although we've had some big shifts at Lila Life with the team, you have some amazing content. So I want to really encourage you to sign up for the Lila Life Collective. If you have any questions, you can email me directly at linda@lilalife.co and get in there and do the work. It's a really powerful foundation to some of the deeper work that we're doing here. So the last 2 things that I want to touch on, one is your daily practice. So, we have every single second to be with ourselves, in communion with others, in experience with others, and with ourselves. And, having a daily practice to support your every second interactions and movements through life can be really powerful. And it's both. It's the awareness of you in your seconds, the awareness in each moment, and it's your ability to tune in with yourself. And so if you already have a daily practice, seeing if there's anything that you can do to make it just 1% more, 10% more aligned for yourself, or maybe you found your sweet spot and that's amazing. Congratulations, keep going. And if this is completely new for you, I've told this story before. When I first meditated, I set a timer for 60 seconds and meditated, right? And now I have a much different daily practice than that. And it's a lot more than 1 minute. But it's whatever works for you, and you're starting where you're at. So start today. If that's for you, 60 seconds on a timer, sitting and being with yourself. Some tools that I love are writing, certainly meditation, breath work. And, I'm available to help you in a coaching capacity navigate that if that feels aligned. So that is that. And then the last but not least sort of topic theme that I think is so important, and it can often be taboo, but I'm just going for it, is your faith, and specifically your faith in a higher power or not a higher power. This is a safe space for you to deepen your belief system in whatever that is for you. So, if that's in the container of a religion, if that is not in a container of a religion, if that is nothing and you're just starting to explore that, if it's something but you've never really had the language to understand it, this is a safe place for that. So, I'm very transparent. I was raised in the church. I have my belief systems now that are really fall in a non-dual capacity, and I do my best to be understanding and learn and explore. And Jesus feels very real for me. God feels very real for me. Angels feel very real for me. But that's me. And so, whatever that is for you, this is a safe space for that. And there is a respect for that. And on one of the past episodes, I was talking about unity through diversity. and being able to be curious about each other and understand each other. And it's all our own journeys. So it's like the vegan that goes paleo a decade later, or the paleo keto head that goes vegan 10 years later, right? This could evolve, this could shift, and each person has their exact reasons why they landed at that exact moment to believe the way they believe right now. And so having the respect and the curiosity for each other, I think, can be very powerful. And I encourage you to do that both for yourself and for others. And if that's a scary topic to even begin to dive into, that's okay too, right? You're in the exact right spot for you right now, and it'll unfold perfectly, however that's supposed to in your life. I believe that. So if there's anything that feels like it's pushing the edges of your belief system coming out of my mouth, that's not my intention. And so you are safe with me. And if you're not feeling safe, maybe that's an opportunity to do some work, curiosity, writing, inquiry around what's coming up for you. And that's everything that I have for you today. So tune in next week. We'll be breaking down heal even further. I'm going to share some of my own experience about uh, what's led that specific part of the framework to be worth talking about, and some of the different tools that I've used, and what currently works the most for me, and what I recommend with my clients. And I hope that you're able to take some of those tips and tools into your practice, and we'll break down. It's like healing from what? We'll start there and go from there. So it's a real passion of mine. I'm feeling tremendous clarity right now in the Lila way. And I'm in a daily commitment right now to my Kundalini practice and my book writing practice daily. This is day one, and this is in dedication to my dear friend, and feels something like his spirit is very, very much with me. So blessings, much love, go gentle, honor yourself, give yourself what you need, show up in love, compassion, understanding, and let's keep going, and let's see what is meant to come through you to show up in the world. Many blessings, much love, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Lila Life Show. Be sure to share, like, and comment. Tune in next week. And if you're not already a member of the Lila Life Collective, you'll want to be. So take a look in the show notes and be sure you sign up today. Have a beautiful day.